Hello, hello, I'm back, and I'm going to continue to make my video game. So what I want to do today is I'm going to make a debug renderer. I have a model started that I wanted to import. It's not quite finished yet, so I'm going to continue working on that before I import that and finally get rid of these flying monkey heads that I got all over the place. But that's not going to be today. Today I'm going to do one more thing for cleanup, and then I'm going to start making a debug renderer just so I can easily see things that should be there, help me debug the game later on, like be able to render lines and cubes just to kind of pinpoint positions and things like that. But what I would like to do first is I got a lot of these things here like this all these CD3D11 things. I'm not a big fan of those because they kind of obscure what's really going on. So I'm going to actually spend some time here to replace those with their D3D11 counterparts, the I guess the old school thing that they were before. So yeah, so let's just go through and start making these instead. So resource view script. So I'm making a new resource view descriptor, and then so I need to figure out what here I'm all setting. So let me actually look up this thing too. Okay, so at first I'm passing in texture, which is this texture 2D thing, so I'm probably using either this function call or this function call. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's all the same number of things. So yeah, I guess either one doesn't, neither one matters. So the first thing I'm setting is this ptext2d, which would be here. So, I guess it's all the same. So I can just say dot texture 2d is equal to texture. So resource view descriptor dot texture 2d is equal to texture. Let me see. I know this isn't gonna work, but let me just see if that compiles. Nope. Is it the address of texture? Well, that's weird because this has a lot more stuff than this has, it seems like, because all these are the same memory. So I got the format. Okay, let me go ahead and change those at least. So put you on hold for now, and then we'll say the resource view descriptor format. I believe is that. No, what the, oh, this is not even 976. Okay, so that's not even what it's, oh, this thing, the texture descriptors format. That's what I needed. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's the format there. So then that must be the view dimension. Okay, that would make sense. Oops. Okay, so then I just got to figure out what the rest, or where the texture goes and what the rest of all this stuff is. Rip levels. That's really weird because this doesn't set any of that stuff. So maybe I can't. Maybe I actually have to use this. stupid CD311 thing. Yeah, I think maybe I'm biting off more than I can chew for this. So I'm gonna actually go back and leave it like that for now. But I think these other ones here, when I'm creating the buffers, yeah, these I can definitely get rid of. Wait a minute. There we go. So yeah, byte width, the usage, all that stuff. So let me go ahead and make it D3, D11, plain old buffer descriptor. There we go. All right, so then this is easy. So this one is the vertex descriptors dot byte width, and that's just going to be this. Still temporary. I'm still fixing this to be whatever. And then the only other thing I need to do is the usage. So vertex descriptor dot usage is this one. Okay, so that I should be able to get rid of. Why? 125. So maybe not. That's the okay, so no, it's not the use, it's just the bind flag. Duh. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I can get rid of that. Oh, let me make sure it runs. Yeah, okay. So I can get rid of that, and then just like I was doing before, I actually don't need to specify two different ones for a vertex. I'm just going to rename this to buffer descriptor. That's going to be buffer descriptor. So then here, when I make my index buffer descriptor, all I really have to change is the bind flags to be this. And so that should do that. Oh, broke it. Oh yeah, because I still got vertex descriptor somewhere. Oh yeah, so I need to now replace that with buffer descriptor. And now that's not working. 123. Oh yeah. That should also be buffer descriptor. All right, cool. And then yeah, same for the constant buffer. I could just use the same buffer descriptor. So let me just copy this. And then so this size is different. And the type is different. And one more to go. That really didn't change much. Okay, so that should be it for that function at least. Nope. Oh yeah, I actually got to change all these to be buffer descriptor. And that will do it. Okay. Yeah, so that's there. Let me copy this over and do the same for, so that one's already been changed. But then these ones here should be changed to this. Yeah, and so I'm actually already got the buffer descriptor created. So that should be buffer desk. And here as well. Actually, that stays the same. This is going to change. 230. Yep, that would help. There we go. Uh-oh, I lost my text. What happened? What happened? What happened? All right, let's just back it up until it works. Okay, so the problem is here. Oh, the problem is, yeah, I don't want these to actually be dynamic anymore, so I gotta set the usage to, yeah, and the CPU access flag. I gotta change those back to what they were. So let's look up what they should be if I'm not making them a dynamic buffer. So the usage is default. And what else am I changing? The CPU access flags. So that's going to go back to, well, I guess I could just leave that. I don't really have to mess with that. So yeah, that should be there. That should be here. Actually, I don't, yeah, it's already been set, so I don't need to do that. So in theory, I don't know why that wasn't working earlier. I should just put this in here. It should work. Nope. Creating index buffer error, creating vertex constant buffer. All right, what am I breaking? Okay, so that all still works, but then there's a buffer descriptor here. That's for the index buffer. That's fine. And then when I set up the vertex constant buffer using the buffer descriptor, that's fine. But as soon as I try to use the buffer descriptor on my pixel constant buffer, that's when it doesn't get happy anymore. I don't want to keep recompiling as if it's going to fix anything. Oh wait, maybe if you have, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so if I put it in there, it's not rendering my text. So it all boils down to the pixel. All right, so what if I did this? What if I took this out of the equation? All right, I make a D3D11 buffer descriptor, call it pixel constant buffer descriptor. I set the byte width to that. I set the bind flags to that. What happens then? Still doesn't work. So what is special about this that's not working here? Oh, because I still have buffer descriptor in there. Okay, so that's still fine. So why won't it let me use buffer descriptor? I'm assuming it's because of something I'm setting here. That shouldn't be. Let me try putting this back to default. There we go. Then it just doesn't work. Oh wait, I'm combining two different areas here. Wait, so this, there we go. Probably need to do that there. Nope. I don't know, it's not even really that big of a deal. Let me just go ahead and put this back. Okay, so it's still working and still not using the CD311 thing, so that's fine. All right, I think that's all of them. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start my debug renderer. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get, but definitely get further than I am right now. So, all right, see, I'm basically just going to copy this text renderer and modify that. So it's got most of what I need, probably more than what I need. So I'm going to rename this to debug renderer. It just needs a matrix, I believe, color, vertex index buffer, vertex constant buffer, pixel constant buffer, Needs a vertex and pixel shader, needs an input layout. It does not need any textures. I'm not going to use any textures for this. Does not need a font. Vertex, stride, offset. Yeah, I think it's going to use all of that. So yeah, all I'm going to have it do probably today is just try to render a cube if I can. So let's see. Where's my... I'm going to go over here to my graphics utilities. I'm going to make another bunch of vertices here that are just the positions. I don't need the textures. I don't need the normals. So this is just going to be cube vertices. Well, since there's no normals, I'm just going to put cube vertices. Maybe that's a bit generic, but it'll be fine. And I don't need the normals. I don't need the texture coordinates. That is all I need right there. Oops. Alright, so now that I got that, I'm going to make a global debug renderer, since I only need one for the whole game. DEB. And to initialize that, I'm going to more or less just copy the text render initialization again and modify that. So yeah, I don't need any of this stuff here. This is going to be initialize debug renderer. Everywhere I got text render is going to be debug renderer. Oh yeah, I also need a shader as well. So let me go ahead and do that before I forget. Call this debug shader dot HLSL. And just like everything else, I'm going to just copy the text shader and paste that in here. What happened? There we go. All right, so I don't need a texture coordinate. The position is going to be a 3D vector. I don't need texture stuff. That's the same. It's not the text color. I'm going to call this pixel color. Don't need that. Don't need any textures. I don't need UV coordinates. That's going to stay the same. And I think I could just return the pixel color. Yeah, so that is now going to be debug shader. All right, so now the stride is 3 floats, which reminds me I gotta change this. There's no longer a UV coordinate. This is R32, G32, B32 now. And there are only 1 attributes. So yeah, I'm gonna leave empty buffers and just fill, well, no, okay. So I'm gonna leave empty buffers minus the cube vertices. So I'm going to have the system memory right now point to my cube vertices here. Oops. Instead of this empty buffer, I got cube vertices. So those will be set. And then whenever I add more things later, I'm just going to add it on top of that. So the vertex stride is that. The index buffer is fine. Actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and pile in the cube indices here for the index buffer. So where's that? Buffer data, p system mem. All right, so that should be good. We'll find out. So it's still got a lot of text renderer stuff in here. Okay, let's see if that compiles. I'm not confident. Oh my god, it did. And it runs. Oh geez. Okay, it's not going to run probably after I call that function, but let's see. All right, so after I initialize my textured mesh renderer, let's initialize my debug renderer. Oh my god. Incorrect number of arguments to numeric type constructor. So that's 23. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't need the Z component anymore. Oh my god. Okay, so it actually compiled, but it crashes. So why is it crashing? Oh no. So when I create this buffer, it doesn't like the memory pointing to cube vertices for some reason. Okay, so what if I just for now put it back to temp storage buffer? Yeah, so I get the same problem here. Okay, so I don't think I could set the byte width to something so large and then have it point to something so small. I think that's probably the issue. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so you know what? So yeah, I basically have to do something like this where I'm what's doing it from a file. Oh yeah, this one. So basically I keep track of how much space I've taken up in the buffer and all that stuff. But you know what, I'm gonna not worry about that now. I'm gonna do it really, really slowly for now just to get it working, and then we can improve it later. But the initialization of it seems to be working. So that's good. So just like I got a render text function, so create texture mesh, initialize debug renderer. So underneath this function, I'm going to make a static, I'm going to say render debug cube. So then I can pass in a position. I can pass in a scale for how big the cube is. I'm just going to have every cube be axis aligned. I'm not going to be able to pass in an orientation yet unless I need to later. And then I am going to need a camera. Actually, before they do that, I'm going to put in pass in a vector 4 for what color the cube should be. And then I am going to Oh yeah, passing the camera. Okay, so should I copy render text? Render text is kind of unique. I don't know if I could get a lot out of that. Let me see. Render text. So I need to set up everything more or less the same. But maybe rendering textured mesh. Yeah, I think I can copy this one and get closer to what I want. All right, so this is all got to get changed to debug. There are no samplers here. There are no textures here. Gotta set up all the shaders, all the buffers. Vertex, constant matrix. So draw index. Vertex of the model matrix. So yeah, this is going to be just the position, just the scale, and just a regular quaternion. Then the camera matrix is the same, but this has all got to be debug renderer. There's no camera position, none of the light stuff matters. Update the sub-resource. So the pixel constants, yeah, so I can go ahead and just set the debug renderer's pixel constants dot pixel constants dot color is equal to the color getting passed in. So that should take care of that. So then what I got to do is map the vertex and index buffers like I'm doing with the text renderer. So basically like this. Then I got to remember to unmap that, which is basically like this. And again, that's debug renderer. Okay, so then I should just be able to get pointers to that. I should have copied this the first time. That'll be like this. And let me go ahead and keep track of all this as well. The vertex counter and the index counter. Okay, so now I should be able to, in theory, just write to these buffers and render what I write to it. So yeah, just for now, I'm going to just try to get a triangle. So v dat dot, actually, yeah, okay, let's just try to do a triangle. So v dat at counter plus plus is 0, negative 0. No, actually, I'm using a camera, so -1. Let's make it bigger. Let's put like -5 to 5. So I'll just leave the z coordinate at 0, but then the y is going to be still be -5. So -5, -5. This will be 0 and +5. And this will be +5 back to -5. All right, and then I dat at, oh, this is supposed to be v counter, by the way. Bam. All right, and then I counter plus plus 0 should be a semicolon. 2 and 1. Okay, Does it compile? No. Missing type specifier. Int assumed. Note, C++ does not support default int. You don't have to be so snooty about it. Static. Oh yeah, I forgot to give a return type. Model matrix, not a member of debug renderer vertex constants. Well, it should be. So yeah, what I'm gonna do, I don't have a model matrix here, but I don't really need one because I'm kind of passing in all the stuff I need. So I'm gonna say matrix for model matrix is, it helps if I spell position correctly as well. So that should do it. Camera matrix. What? You don't, oh, it's just a wait, what is it called? Projection matrix. Same thing. You know what? I'm gonna call it camera matrix here. Now, projection matrix is not a member of. Wish it would make up its mind. So 312. What's going on? Well, yeah, actually, the camera's got its own projection. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, that's for the text. I don't need that. I don't need to do that there. Okay, so now it doesn't know what a mesh is, but that's probably something easy to fix. Yeah, it's not. So in this example, oh man. Okay, so I'm just gonna draw 3, 0, 0. I'm hard coding it here just for testing. 0 and 0. There we go. Okay, it runs. It doesn't show anything because I'm not telling it to. So after all this, by the way, if I move this down here below all the debug text, I can get rid of that. Yeah, so you can actually see the background through the monkeys there, so it makes the text a little bit easier to read, in my opinion. Okay, so then I could also then, after all of this, do, let's see, render a debug cube. Let's put it at just right in the middle. Let's make the scale just standard. It will be a all white cube. And I'm going to pass in the address of my camera. And I'm going to comment that out too so I can hopefully see it. $8.94. Cannot convert from initializer list to vector3. Why? Do I get something wrong? What's 894? Oh, that's the problem. It's not a vector3, it's a vector4. There we go. And I don't see any white triangles anywhere. That's where's my, I don't even know where the camera is in relation to anything. So it's right in the middle, just move back 5 things from the Z, so I should see it in theory. Okay, so let's go through here. Maybe I left text renderer somewhere where it shouldn't be. So I'm setting the right shader. Let me go through where I'm initializing it first. So the shader compiles just fine, that's not an issue. My shader vertex layout is correct. It's a 3D vector of floats. So buffer descriptor, buffer data. The vertex stride is fine. Vertex offset is fine. Let me go to the all right, let me just try to render or return just a standard color and see if anything happens there. So let's say return vector 4, or no, it's float 4. Let's just try to return red. And nothing. I'm going to render just a standard mesh just to see if I can see that, because it should be at the same position. Render texture mesh pointer. Yeah, okay. So I should be seeing a triangle right where that thing is, but I'm not. -5, -5, 0, +5, 5, -5. So that should be fine. 0, 1, 2, rendering 3. What if I try to render 3 vertices? Still nothing. Okay. So my guess is something something to do with the way I'm setting up these buffers, because I was having issues earlier when I was trying to just get rid of this stupid CD311 thing. And I probably did something dumb like that here. Just don't know what. Does my text renderer use this stuff at all? I don't think so. I think that was just a holdover from the textured mesh renderer. Yeah. What's that mean? All right, so if I don't need it, let's get rid of it. Of course, it doesn't fix anything, but it's not going to hurt. Nope. Oh wait, you know what? I think the way I'm setting up. No, wait, never mind. Yeah, the camera matrix should be fine. It's just the camera's projection times the view. Pixel constants are the color passed in there. I know this method or function works because it works for the textured mesh renderer. Pixel constant buffer. Everything set up fine. Here. What if I just try to render the position by itself? Whoa, I get a big old thing. Okay, so that seems to be working. I think the problem is my projection. Let's do this. Projection matrix. So yeah, so let's double check how that matrix is getting built. Or am I even not setting it at all? Update sub resource vertex constant buffer by the vertex constants. The vertex constants camera matrix is the camera's projection times the camera's view. Am I doing this too early? No, it was working for that one. So let me double check the render textured mesh function. Vertex constants, vertex camera matrix is the exact same thing I'm setting it to. Oh, but you know, I'm not even multiplying it by the model matrix at all. That would make sense. So this is slightly different. Where to go? Okay, so yeah, I'm calculating this model matrix, but I'm not really using it anywhere. So that would be the projection times the view times that. And is this going to give me what I want? Nope. That sucks. So that's weird because, okay, so let's say I do, let's see, 0.5 for all of these. Oops. And then if I come to the shader and take out the projection, there we go. I get a triangle, but there's no perspective to it. It's just planted right there on the surface of my screen. So why is this projection not doing what I want it to? Well, I guess it'll be a good opportunity to see if this is working. Should be white after that. And it's not. So none of my shader or what do you call it? Constant buffers are getting updated, it seems. Maybe I got to do it after I unmap the buffers. And I still don't think I should be doing it with update sub resource, because you shouldn't use that every frame as far as the Win32's documentation is concerned. But it should be working because it was working with my textured meshes. So let's see, if I go to render textured mesh, I'm updating the sub resources here all the same way, and that doesn't give me any problems. So why? No bueno. Which the mapping and unmapping is working, which makes me happy. This is not working. Because I still got texture. I'm so frustrating. All right, but it's fine because it should be fine now. Wait, so mold the camera matrix. No, it's called projection matrix. By that, don't forget my closing parenthesis. Please work. Nope. Guess I got too far ahead of myself. Oh, but then this shouldn't be 0.5 anymore. Oops. so let me go ahead and, okay, let me. Okay, so we're gonna do all that. Come back here, let's get rid of that. And then put return, put it back to red. Oops, where do I go? Okay, so there it is. But why are these not updating? Let me put these back up here. So the debug renders pixel constants. Yeah, just changing that to color. The camera matrix, or the camera's projection times the camera's view. I do want to add in this model matrix at some point, but I don't care at this moment. Okay, so that's working now. My pixel color. Well, let me just double check that it's working. So if I change this to be 0, it should get an ugly purple. Yeah, okay, so that's now working. So now I'm getting close, The model, or the projection matrix. Where am I? Yeah, render debug cube. So that's the camera's projection times the camera's view. Camera matrix. Yeah, okay, so that should work. Why is it not working? So if I then go back here to multiply that, row, and it disappears. What if I reverse this? 2, 1, 0. Nothing. What now if I make this equal to just the identity matrix? What happens then? Nothing. So it's like as if this is just completely ruining everything. So maybe the way I'm setting up that buffer is wrong. Let's see. There we go. What the heck is going on? Oh, okay, there it is. Okay, so yeah, the way I'm doing that is just not happy. Okay, I'm gonna put that on my to-do list. Fix bug with with setting up constant buffers. Okay, but as of now, I should hopefully get rid of this and that. And do I get what I'm looking for? Yeah, there's my triangle, finally. Holy jeez. Okay, so now what can I do here? So what if I did... No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, this is so dumb, but I'm gonna do this anyway, just for tonight, and then next time I do a optimization code cleanup kind of thing, I'm gonna clean this up a lot better. So this is 3 times, so 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 times 6 is 24 times 3, math, 72. So I'm just gonna copy all 72 things over. Zero, I is less than 72, I plus plus, and I'll even put a comment here. This is dumb and slow, make this better. Let's put it as 2 separate sentences. All right, so we're just gonna say now that vdat at v counter plus plus equals cube vertices at I. And the same for the indices, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 636. I can math. Okay, so idat at I counter plus plus equals cube indices at I. And then, so what we're going to be drawing here is 36 indices. And I could get rid of you. So let's see, does that give me a cube? I don't see why it wouldn't. It does. Okay, cool. So I have a debug cube. So what I'm going to do just for now, and then I'll call it a night, is I'm going to stop making the light follow my camera. Where is the light position initially? There it is. So it's at 5, 5, 3. I'm just going to leave it there. So basically get rid of that. And then I'm going to just render a white debug cube wherever the light position is. Dot position. And then bring my creepy army of monkeys back. All right, cool. There we go. So I got a cube showing me where my light is now. It's the dawn of my debug renderer. Okay, so I think next time I'm probably do some more cleanup, maybe some bug fixing, and then I'm going to make a function that makes a debug line, so I can make a line somewhere from one point to another, and also use that to make a debug box, right? So like just the outsides of the box. So it'll be good for like collision detection, debugging, and things like that. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's see. I'm going to save everything to GitHub here. But I have to do something really quick because I added a license to the GitHub repository, and then if I if I don't put it in this repository here, it's gonna get deleted when I go to push it up. So I'm gonna add it now so that way I can push it up and then it'll have everything that I wanted to have in there. Okay, so raw, it's just the MIT license. So let me go ahead and add that to my thing. And I'm just gonna call it all caps license. I don't want the .txt. Let me see, rename. There we go. All right, so now when I save it, I can do git add everything, git commit stack m started debug renderer. And then this time when I push it up, I want to force it. Why is it taking forever? There we go. Thank you, everybody. See you next time.